Harris and Lewis adventure. We're off to try and find somewhere to pitch the tent and enjoy this stunning view while we cook our tea. Golden eagles above that hill right now, soaring against the wind. What an amazing thing to witness. Later on this week we are going in search of sea eagles, but being able to see some golden eagles out of the blue, oh, it's not really out of the blue, there's a lot of golden eagles and sea eagles on Harris and Lewis, but it's still amazing to see that out with knowing about it and just when you're kind of out and about exploring. So you may be noticing that it's now the next day here on Harris, and you might be wondering why I never took any videos last night. Well, the weather closed in quite dramatically. It was very windy, so we had to cook our tea behind a... oh look, a bird of prey. Ooh. We had to cook our tea behind an old stone wall over there to shelter from the wind, and as soon as we'd had tea, the weather really closed in and the torrential rain started and the gale force winds, and there was a photographer out trying to brave it, but even he had to give up in the end. It was just too crazy to even attempt photography or to attempt to vlog, so we just had an early-ish night, went back to the tent and just relaxed for the evening. It's now the next day, as I said, that I was hoping the weather would be a little bit better, because it has been for the past few hours, but just as we've got up and had our breakfast, the weather is closing in once again. But before we left this gorgeous Luskentyre beach behind, I wanted to come and explore these sand dunes. Look at this. They are absolutely incredible. So probably some of the biggest sand dunes I've seen. They even, I would say, rival some of those huge ones in Aberdeenshire. They're just, wow. The view up here, look at this. I am slightly disappointed because I was really hoping to see Luskentyre Beach at its best this trip, with the crystal clear blue seas that you get here and the white sands, and although the sand still looks dramatic and amazing, because the light is so dull and it's so miserable in many ways, the sea's not particularly blue as you can see. Which is a shame. There was some moments last night when we were cooking our tea when the light did look quite nice, and we had a quick burst of light about half an hour ago. But every time I kind of get into a position to take images and get into somewhere that the images would be possible, this happens. Which is a shame, very frustrating, but that's how photography goes and that's how the West Coast goes. This beach though is one of the most famous beaches and one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. In fact, I think it's in the top 10 best beaches in the world, some category somewhere, and I mean, it's not surprising. These beaches are pretty much untouched. You've got all these sand dunes, the beautiful white beaches. When the tide is out, this whole stretch here is just complete sand, and when it is sunny and calm, the sea, as I said, is crystal clear and blue. I did experience that briefly last year and it was amazing. I think what's really frustrating me this trip is, those people think of the Outer Hebrides and think of islands, they probably don't realise how much there is to do here. And while I had a kind of itinerary of what I wanted to do this holiday, You know, when we've been driving around, I've been seeing so many more places that I want to visit, so many more places that I want to take photographs, and I'm just feeling, if I'm honest, overwhelmed with this island. This is the third time I've been here, but every time I come I discover more. I discover more places I want to go, more places I want to discover. There is so many insane hill walks here which I would love to do that I'm not going to have time to do this trip. And I just wish that somehow I could come here and spend a whole month on this island taking photos and kind of travelling around in a camper van or something, because like I say, the locations are endless and I just don't feel like the weather and the conditions have been quite right for me this trip, and I'm trying to fit so much into it that I've not really got the time to kind of sit around locations and wait for the light to change. But exploring this island is probably a great thing because in the future I do hope that I can come back here and have a proper photography trip where I can just relax and enjoy this gorgeous scenery and spend hours just waiting for the light to change, because this is honestly a photographer's paradise. The opportunities are endless and I've not taken nowhere near as many images this trip as I'd hoped to, which in some ways I'm a bit disappointed with, but I've taken a lot on my phone, which I'm very, very happy with. And you know, I know phone photography is nowhere near as good as a proper camera, but it does have its place, and I think when the weather changes as quickly and as dramatically as it does here, it's so much quicker and easy to get your phone out and take a quick snap than trying to, you know, fumble around with all your gear and try and get everything set up. You could say I'm just being lazy, but to be honest, I'm just trying to enjoy this island as much as possible, see as much of it as possible, show all you guys as much of it as possible so that you can get out and enjoy this place for yourself if you ever get here. So we're just eating our breakfast and we're going to pack up the tent and head to our next location for today. It's a shame that our Luskentyre trip has been short and sweet, but it's still been great to be here and show some of it on camera, and I hope that you can see how dramatic and how beautiful this is. And if you want to see more of this beach, check out the video I made last year and you'll see it at its almost best, because it is a phenomenal sight when the sun is out here. Now that would be a sand dune to run down. Hebridean weather. It's such a shame that the weather is this bad, because just walking around that beach last night and this morning I could see so many potential photography opportunities and compositions, but the weather, as you can see, is just lashing down. It's not good at all, which I'm really kind of upset about in many ways, because this is the third time I've been to this beach and the third time I've tried to get good images, or wanted to get good images, and I've just never had the conditions. We could sit around here all day and wait for the conditions to change, but we've still got so many more places that we want to explore and discover, and you know, at the end of the day, this series is all about showing you as much of this island as I possibly can and trying to get images along the way. I am going to have to try and come back here maybe next year or the year after and try and do an actual photography series where I literally spend all day waiting for the light, but this trip is not about that, so let's get going. We're now off down to the south of Harris and we're going to go and see if we can discover an old church, which is amazing. I was there last year, and hopefully if the weather improves a bit we're going to discover a couple more of the beaches and that around there as well before heading to the Harris Eagle Observatory. So we will see you all when we get there. So we're just driving along to try and get to this old church, and we have just discovered a really cool helicopter at the edge of this like cliff face. I don't think I've ever seen a helicopter this close up before. It is amazing, and I'm just walking down right now to this kind of cliff top area where the waves are crashing in, and I'm thinking this might be a good potential spot to stop and take some landscape photography. Oh my goodness, yes, definitely. Look at this. here all day. I'm not sure if any of these images are any good, but what I've been doing is trying to get some fast shutter speed images of the waves crashing into the land to show drama, to show the force, to show just what I'm seeing here in person, how strong and just how much force these waves have got. And then I've also put my wee little stopper on for a little while to give me a 1 to 2 second exposure, just to try and get some movement in the waves as well. So we've got that 2 different types of images, showing the contrast, showing different things you can do with the water and different filters. And like I say, I'm not sure if any of these images are that good, but it's been great fun standing here, great fun enjoying this view, and yeah, I'm really glad we stopped here. We would not have stopped here if it wasn't for us leaving Luskentyre early and that helicopter being on the other side. So in many ways things happen for a reason, and the weather this morning made me come here. So is it fate? I don't know, but I hope 1 or 2 of these images are decent, and I hope when I get back and look at them on the computer that I am happy with them and they remind me of this unexpected stop here in the Isle of Harris. Very often that you get to come into somewhere preserved like this for free. It's like reliving history.